So this right here is a release for the frunk, just in case you somehow saw up your child and manage to fit them in here if they need to get out. Because, yeah. This right here is the 2021 Mustang Mach E. Now, this is not the GT. This is actually a courtesy car that everyone gets, that they loan out to people so that they can check it out. And Sioka Volkswagen has been kind enough to loan us out this one so we get an opportunity to poke around with it and see what the Mustang Mach E is really all about. And the first thing you're going to notice is it's an SUV. It's not really a Mustang, but we'll get into that later. It's actually smaller than I expected it to be from seeing it in the pictures. And it also doesn't have a lot of the sharp edges that you're used to seeing on the Mustang. It's actually a pretty car. You can see in the front, just like almost all electric cars, there are really no openings here. There's no grille, there's nothing like that. Now it does have these active aero panels right down here in the bottom, and when you go at speed, they will open up to feed air into, I would assume, the air conditioning and heating systems and all that kind of stuff, or to cool things off for the battery if you happen to be driving it for performance. The other interesting thing is that I know they call it a Mustang Mach E, but Mustang is not actually written anywhere on the car other than the window sticker. This is the only thing, these badges and the ones in the center of the wheel are the only things that really make or say this is a Mustang, which I suppose is okay. It does have LED lighting here in the front, and it really does look cool when it's on the road. I was surprised. I followed someone driving this over to this location, and the lighting when you're outside just looks really, really neat when the car is moving. It doesn't look like anything else on the road. So that's one unique feature of the car that makes it stand out. Oh, well, that doesn't sound very electric. Obviously, they just used the regular hood latch off of any other freaking car. What the? Let's try the button again. I know. It did. Yeah, it takes a couple times to. Obviously, they don't really want you putting anything in. Oh. You could store a couple of compact discs in here if you're still using them. You can't actually use them in this car. It doesn't have a compact disc player, but you maybe can get a couple rolls of toilet paper and all that stuff. Oh, and look at this. So this right here is a release for the frunk, just in case you somehow saw up your child and managed to fit them in here if they need to get out. Because, yeah. I don't know exactly how you fit small children in here, but in case one gets trapped, there's this nice glowy thing so that they could release themselves. Now, I don't know which part of this compartment you would put your child and how they would get their hand around. Yeah, but take it what you will with that. This is the government at work. You've got your fill for your windshield wiper fluid up here, and that really seems to be all you have access to. So up front, you've got a really nice small frunk for origami kids and your windshield wiper fluid, and that's about it. Now, I was criticized for the way that I closed the Tesla Model 3 frunk, so I just want to make sure that my closure of this frunk meets with your approval. So we're going to rest it on its thing, and then what we're going to do is we're going to... Oh, yeah. There we go. Very satisfying click. Only took 3 tries. So we're good. This right here is where you fill this with gas, except for it's not gas, it's electric. Ooh, almost got me. So we've got your regular plug. Now I believe this is the plug that's used for fast DC charging. I would assume this is the common plug that most companies are using, because I know this is also the one that's used for the Volkswagen ID4. And then you've got the other charging plug here, which I believe you can purchase an adapter for. So it does work on a couple of different types of charging stations. It has this button right here. I don't have a freaking clue what that does, but that only takes one try. So the wheels are okay. They seem kind of like standard electric car fare. They're actually 19-inch wheels, and for whatever reason, they kind of look small on this car, which is weird. All right, I called it a car. I'm sorry. They look small on whatever this is. It also has these black fender flares. They're plastic, and I don't know what to say about these actually. They look all right. I don't know that silver would be my choice of colors, to be honest. It's really, really muted and almost makes it blend in with every other car on the road, when you would think they'd really want it to stand out. But it does look nice. And it has this Mach E badge, E4X. Now every one of the Mach E's is all-wheel drive, which means it has a drive motor in the front and the back. It's a direct drive motor, which means there's no transmission or anything like that. The door handles, it just has this weird thing that hangs off. Kind of looks almost like an afterthought, to be honest with you. And you just push the button and the doors open. They're motorized. It doesn't motorize closed, as far as I can tell. So I can't just rest it there and have it close on it. It still stays open. So they kind of went halfway with it. So moving around to the back, it kind of has a thing where it looks like the body and the roof are not part of the same car. It's a little strange. So the roof line goes down here, but then it has this little extended piece. This is actually a glass roof on the top, which is pretty cool. I'll show that when we get inside the car. So this comes around to the back into this little spoiler here, and the back window looks really small. So it'll be interesting to see how easy it is to see out of the back of this vehicle once we're inside, because the trunk obviously looks really high and the roof line is really low in this part. It's very small. This looks like Lamborghini spacing for looking out the back window. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like to actually see out of it. And you can see in the back especially a few more cues towards the Mustang, because it has these 3 lights. It's kind of strange that they're not red, they're white. And I'm not exactly sure how legally they get away with making those white. But these are all LEDs and they look really cool when they light up and do all that kind of stuff. And again, of course, the Mustang badging on the back, which is really the only thing that says Mustang about the car. You also have this badge on the wheels and the center caps. You do have a rear windshield wiper, and of course, it does have the sensors, the body sensors all the way around. It's my understanding that this car will park itself. Now to open up the trunk, it has a little button right under here. It's a little bit difficult to find the first time you do it, but you kind of get used to where it is. Trunk lifts itself up, which is very nice. This one has an extra added Ford rubber mat to it. And if we lift this up, it has another panel under here, has all your charging equipment and a air compressor for the wheels in case your tires go flat. I assume there's some sort of goop that's included with the kit, so that if you do have a flat, you put the goop in the tire, you blow it up again. It's probably good for a certain number of miles before you have to have the tire replaced, but it'll get you somewhere in a pinch. And then you got some little pockets back here. It looks like this could be a subwoofer. From what I understand, the sound system in these things is supposed to be pretty cool. When we get on that test drive, we'll check it out. It does have also a cover for the trunk so that, you know, people can't come in and see what's in your trunk, which, considering how small the back window is and the fact that it's basically blacked out, I can't see how that would be an issue anyways. I literally cannot see anything in there, so couldn't tell if there is one anyways. So I know the outside is pretty and you guys have probably all seen pictures of it, but I know everyone really wants to know what it's like on the inside and of course, what it's like to drive. So let's hop in and check it all out. So this is the interior of the Mustang Mach E. And if you take a look at the seats, they have some colored stitching going on, perforations around the seats for the heated seats and all that kind of stuff. They're pretty supportive. I wouldn't call these sport seats by any stretch of the imagination, but they feel pretty nice. And I like how long they are. So it's not like my legs are hanging off the seat. A lot of cars you get in nowadays, they're so short in the front that your legs are just kind of hanging off. These are actually nice long seats there. I like that. Got your glove box right here. It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. You could have an intellectual conversation with that. And you've also got your Mustang trim down here. So it has kind of this faux carbon fiber weave thing going on here. And you've got this wraparound leather piece. A Bang & Olufsen stereo system is in here. So you've obviously got the Tesla theory of interiors in here. You got a super small screen behind the steering wheel that shows you your miles per hour and your range and all that kind of stuff. But everything else in the car is right here in front of you. I do like the fact that there actually is a volume control on it, but that's all there is. Now the bottom part of this UI is very intuitive. Unlike Tesla's, it's really easy to get to the heated seats and your fan and all of your climate control stuff is really simple to find. You know, you've got your temperature for your passenger and your driver and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really easy to find all of that stuff right here. It's when you get into the rest of the user interface that this becomes a little bit unwieldy. So normally it's set up so that you could see your navigation system right here, but getting into anything else is a little bit difficult. You have your phone and your Connect stuff here, but it doesn't really take you anywhere. So it took us a little while to figure out that this button right up here brings up the menu. Now, there's no settings menu, so I can't really go in and change the settings on anything. That's a little strange. You have to go into profile and you can set up a profile which has all of the preferences that you personally have when you're driving the car. And that's a little strange. So if you go into controls under your profile, you can set up your drive modes. And you've got these unbridled and engage and whisper and all that sort of stuff, which, you know, you can click the information, it tells you what it is. You know, unbridled is exhilarating drive machine and the road align as one. You've got your cameras here, so you can take a look around the car, which is kind of nice. Parking, so you can use the parking aid or the parking assist. Access, you can lock or unlock the charge port and all that kind of stuff so that no one else can access your charge port, just in case they felt like they wanted to do that. You can adjust some of your driver assistance stuff, auto hold and traction control. You can turn on or off, which is kind of nice. We can try to drift it later maybe, probably not. All right, you can do it. There you go.
All right, boomer.
Additional settings, you know, driver assistance. You got intelligent cruise control, speed limit assist, lane keeping, collision, all the kind of standard stuff that you would expect to find on here. There's nothing groundbreaking here. If you go into vehicle, and there you go. Your power down timer, so how long it takes for the car to just shut itself off if it wants to. This will also function with an app that you have on your phone if you wanted to set it up. Obviously, since we're just borrowing the car, we didn't do that or test that out, but a lot of the stuff on here is pretty self-explanatory. You know, my key onboard modern serial number. We're not going to show any of that stuff because this obviously isn't our car. You can go into general here. You got your settings for your temperature, whatever this stuff is, Celsius or Fahrenheit. Measurements in miles or kilowatt hours. You could do kilometers, all that kind of stuff. Just standard car stuff. You can adjust, obviously, the display. It looks like it has different modes. You know, you could go dark, light, or auto, where it'll switch back and forth between the two, which is nice. Center display mode is also dark, so you could change that. Your clock, your connectivity, which I'm assuming is like Bluetooth and wireless and all that kind of stuff. You can adjust that in here. You can create a vehicle hotspot. You can do system updates and install the mobile apps for different things. You can actually set up how you want your voice control to work on here. And you can adjust ambient light to different colors and that sort of stuff. Pretty neat. And then valet mode, where you can set a pin so your valet doesn't go crazy and drive this car over 25 miles an hour or whatever. But so back in here, you've got your radio, phone, navigation, tire pressure. You have a trip computer here and all that kind of stuff, and then Apple CarPlay, Android Auto CarPlay, iPhone. So just connecting to Bluetooth, Waze, and Pandora. I'm relatively certain that just like any other vehicle, you can probably install additional apps in here. But that's pretty much it. It's actually a lot less intuitive, and you have to really kind of look around for things. Now, if you're in your map here, where's the where to? So I can go and I can select that, and I can find charging stations. I have to log in for that, so we can't do that here because I'm not charging. Yeah, so it has afternoon suggestions, and you can select next EV charge, and it will tell you where all your charging stations are local to where you're at. And we won't have the time to actually go to one of these charging stations and see how they work for this car, but it's not Tesla supercharger, so I can't imagine they're super fast. You can also go up here to browse, and you can look for restaurants and all that kind of stuff. It's all listed here. So it does have charge stations here. You can get right to it from there. And you can go to recents, and it'll show up where you were where you've been, and all that. Your standard navigation stuff. It seems pretty intuitive. The navigation on this actually looks like it's not a bad piece. But really, that's all there is to this UI. There's not much more to it. In your center console, you have your cup holders here. You have spaces for your phone, and this is actually a wireless charger, so when I put my phone on there, it will automatically start to charge. Back here deep, you've got a USB-C charger and USB. Now, one of the things I noticed that's weird is behind here is where your controls for your air are. You can turn it up or turn it on or close it off. It's hidden behind the thing. That's a little bit on the annoying side. But here in your center, you have your parking brake. This activates your parking assist. And then you've got your four-way flashers right here. And then, of course, park, reverse, neutral, and drive. And then I suppose there's some sort of low gear, or maybe that's possibly for towing. I'm not totally certain. All right, so your center arm here, which does lift up, it has this nifty little door for a little cubby pocket here. There's a 12 volt in here, and that's about it. It does have some storage also underneath here. As you can see, someone is kindly already storing some items under there, but it does have a nice open dash. It's really easy to access all this stuff. This particular model, and I assume most of them do, has power seats, passenger and driver, the heated seats, the whole 9 yards. So for $55,000, the interior of this car is a pretty nice place to be, and it definitely feels really solid. So I wanted to show off my awesome Shamrock Shake, but right next to the key to the Ford Mustang Mach E. And it has the Mustang logo on there so that you're not confused. And then on the other side, you've got your panic button, common on regular cars nowadays. You've got your trunk opener, door locks, and all that stuff. Really standard fare. This is no special key. And there, of course, is the key to stab your friends or whatever. It doesn't actually look like it's set up to go in anything, but I'm pretty sure there's a place in the car where you can use this to open a compartment that allows you to open your doors if you are locked out. So there you go. That is your Ford Mustang Mach E key. And this key never smokes, just so you know. This is a non-smoking key. Well, since it does have an extra set of doors, let's see what the back is like to live in. Well, it's easy for an adult to fit back here. It's not bad. And the glass roof makes it kind of nice and bright in here, at least during the day. I like it. You know what I like more? It's warm in here. It's cold out there. You do have some heating in the back. You also have a USB-C and USB back here. That's kind of nice. Some door pockets so you can fit your pencils, maybe. There are no cup holders back here. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. We have some center console cup holders. You might be able to fit a Dixie cup in there. They're pretty small. I don't think my Shamrock Shake's gonna fit in there. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, it's official. It fits a Shamrock Shake. That must be good. Well, all that's left is to drive this thing and see what we get. And honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to this. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Be a big disappointment. Like my whole life. So, put it in drive, you just rotate this little knobby. And there we go. It's time to roll out. It would normally be really strange how quiet this thing is because I'm used to driving loud cars like my Mustang, but I did just spend 1,100 miles driving down to Florida and another 1,100 miles coming back up from Florida. And so this seems pretty normal at this point to me. It does sit a lot higher than what I'm used to in the Tesla and of course in the Mustang. Road noise seems about on par with what we got in the Tesla as well. And actually, regenerative braking feels almost exactly the same as the Tesla Model 3 as well. So right here on the front binnacle, I've got the range that the car still has and my miles per hour, what drive I'm in. It's kind of nice that it does show me what the current speed limit is for the road that I'm on right here in this front binnacle. It's pretty cool. The steering wheel has pretty much everything you'd expect in your normal car. You have your cruise control stuff over here on the left-hand side, all your volume control and anything for the user interface, like push to talk and things like that. It's pretty much standard Ford fare. It's exactly what you would expect. The wheel is much, it's a much lighter feel than what you get in a Tesla, but it's, again, a normal steering wheel. It actually kind of seems a little bit small for how big this vehicle is. Drives like a normal car. It's kind of, well, it drives like a normal car when you've just driven a Tesla as far as I have. I guess that's it's not a shock how quiet it is or anything in this car because I have spent so much time in electric cars. Now it does have a full glass roof, which is really cool. I like that. There's all kinds of storage compartments up here for sunglasses. You've got your lighting in here. Has home link, so you can set it up for your remote control on your garage door opener and everything. It's kind of nice. It has this big ass binnacle here for the mirror. I assume it's got cameras in the front and all that kind of stuff. Now the rear window, which I thought might be one of those things that's weird, is really easy to see out of. It's not as slotted as I kind of expected that it might be. So that's a good thing. Around town, this car seems like it performs pretty much as you'd expect. It definitely does not feel like a performance car at all. I wouldn't go so far as to say that it drives well, but I wouldn't poop on it either. It drives like an SUV. You'll notice when you're driving this that there's a lot more mechanical sounds in this car than what you would normally find in a Tesla or something like that. There's kind of a constant whirring from the front engine, which is a little, I guess it's not an engine, from the front motor. It's a little strange. It is a pretty comfortable place to be in here though. For those of you looking for a vehicle that sits higher up, it does sit high up. The seats are pretty comfortable. It does have heated seats. Oh, and it has a heated steering wheel too. This does not tell you, like my Tesla does, when the light is green. So I'm not sure this will meet with the wife approval or not. She definitely wants to have someone else in the car to tell me when the light is green if she's not there. So that would probably make her feel a lot better. Huh. Well, it does get up and go pretty much instantly. Let's see how far it rolls. Wow. So it's not bad. It's not bad. If you are an SUV owner, this is probably what you would call a pretty fast SUV. Definitely not Tesla Model 3 performance, but if you're used to driving a Ford Escape, this is going to feel really, really fast for you. Of course, it's not a Mustang. Apparently, what Ford did was they made a performance car, called it a Mustang, and they left out the beans. All we're getting is the Frunk. You know what that means, right? Yeah. Here we go. And 60.
About 5 seconds.
Yep.
Short of 5 seconds.
It's certainly nothing life-changing. I remember the first time I did a 0 to 60 run in a Tesla Model 3 Performance, and that pretty much changed my life. I knew I had to have one because damn. This, it's fast by SUV standards. It doesn't make it a performance vehicle, and it definitely doesn't make it a Mustang. All right, so this nubby goes up, and there we go. You see a little light going around, and we're charging up. That's nice, because it actually tells you what your charge level is here. 3 of 5. It's like 7 of 9, but different. So I want to take this opportunity to thank Ciocca Volkswagen of Allentown for loaning me this car for the day. It's been an absolute blast, and I really do appreciate them letting us take this out, run it through its paces, and just see what the Mustang Mach E is all about. I really, really, really wanted to like this car, and I think if Ford had called it anything else, the Taurus E, the Falcon E, the Explorer E, whatever, it doesn't matter, but if they had called it anything else, it wouldn't be a kick in the balls to Mustang owners. I probably would have felt a lot different about the car, because in reality, I do think it is a good car, and it is a really nice start for Ford down the road to electric vehicles. It's just not a Mustang. If you want to see my impressions on the Tesla Model 3, you should check that video out right here. This, of course, is a Ford Mustang Mach E, and this channel is For the Love of Cars. My name is Michael Fira Jr., and I will see you in the next one.